Well, hey, thanks for joining us for our FLC 2020 Rewind series. My name is Michael Lentini. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for both the JPW and the Northwoods BDA Group territory. So here's what you can expect during this series. You're gonna get segments cut from previous videos, leadership content that still applies to us today. In addition to that, you're gonna get a whole bunch of best practice interviews from franchisees from around the region. Really excited for you to be joining us. And Brandon's gonna kick us off as he talks about the value and the importance of connecting with our team through stories. Take a look.
My goal is to give you a couple really simple things that I think that we need to look at as far as leaders in this area. You guys are entrepreneurs, you are owners of businesses, you are managers, you are leaders of people, whether you like it or not. We always talk about what we do in our stores, how we can make this operation better, how we can make this sandwich better, how we can get new flavors, how we can drive more traffic. We talk about those little things all the time, the little whats. But how many times or how often do you, as a leader, as a manager, as a franchisee, reflect on yourself as a leader? We need to think about that. We need to invest as leaders in growing ourselves and how we can connect to our people and lead them in the right direction. I'm gonna give you a couple things that I want you guys to think about and how you connect to your staff. How do you connect to the people that work for you? Connect to people through stories, okay? You want to share your story with them, and that will inspire feelings. That's what drives actions. Feelings drive more action than just dictating. Be truthful and vulnerable with your staff, and avoid garbage in, garbage out. So I'm gonna tell you a story. A few years ago, I was down in Phoenix visiting mom and dad over the wintertime. I had a 6 a.m. flight the next morning, Sunday morning, to come back home. The night before my 6 a.m. flight, we were at my favorite restaurant in Scottsdale, and it's called a place called the Spotted Donkey. It's a Mexican restaurant, and it is awesome. And we're out to dinner, and they've got these appetizers called jalapeno shooters, and there's jalapenos, I think, wrapped in bacon and fried, and they got all this delicious, ridiculous stuff on there. And I was like, that looks like a good idea. I'm gonna get that, for an appetizer. And my mom and my wife are looking at me like, I don't know if that's a really good idea. You got an early flight in the morning, right? So then for the main course, they have these things. They have stuffed poblano peppers stuffed with chorizo, sausage, and cheese and onions and lots of good spicy stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea too. So I get to the airport the next morning, and I am in the TSA line. And I got there an hour before my flight, 5 a.m., shouldn't be a problem. I get to the top of the escalator, and the TSA line is all the way out to the top of the escalator. I'm like, this is going to take a really, really long time. And about 5 minutes after getting in line, I feel a rumble, okay? This is a bad feeling, okay? I can't get out of line, okay? This is like gonna take at least close to an hour to get through this line. This is an awful feeling. This was a bad feeling that inspired action. I am sweating and I am praying, right? That this comes across you in waves. You're like, okay, I made it. Okay, I'm good. Oh God, And like, so honestly, I'm sweating, I'm fanning myself, I'm praying, I'm not Catholic, I'm crossing myself, PSA is looking at me, bringing the dog over. I'm not a dangerous person. Stuffed poblano peppers, So I'm just praying that I can get through this line because I will miss my flight if I get out of this line. Maybe I get my bag, I get through, and maybe I can make a quick pit stop before I get on the plane. Passenger Wilhelm, last boarding call, gate 4. Oh no, Everyone is seated, seatbelt sign on, all the doors. I'm like, oh dear Lord. There's one open seat left in the plane, and I take it, and I'm like, oh, this was a terrible idea. I made bad decisions, and now I'm paying for them, right? Everybody has been in bad situations like this, okay? And the reason I'm telling this story is for a few reasons. It's hopefully funny. I'm being vulnerable, telling you guys this ridiculous story about a bad thing that happened to me, but most people can connect with being in a terrible situation like that, right? And this is one of the ways that we connect with our staff is being truthful, being vulnerable. Tell them funny stories about you, about your upbringing, about your experience with Subway. We all have ridiculous stories as franchisees that have affected us, that we have gone through, that people want to know. Our millennials and young people that are working, it's not good enough just to pay them and tell them to do a job anymore. They want to know who they are working for and why. And they want to know what you're all about. And this is a family. We're in this fight together. And I want to leave you guys with this. Winston Churchill has some of my favorite quotes. But success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. So I guys want you to think about that as we fight the competition. We try to grow our brand. We try to become better leaders. We need that courage to continue. That's what inspires me about entrepreneurs in this room and about franchisees in this family.